Okay, yeah, that was Breadwinners right there, right freaking there. And the thing is that I think we already talked about how crappy the design is. I mean, just the entire thing is just overused shapes. They're not creative with it. They don't do it in a unique way. It's just oval, circle, bobblehead body, a bunch of random crap that a 5-year-old drew. That's like the design right there, and that's how bad it is. Ugh. I mean, it's just no originality at all. And another thing, do you want to know what's funny? This show has quality control when it comes to design. I don't think it does, but I assume it does. You know, like all the other people that helped design the show because it's staff at Nickelodeon and Nickelodeon. And Ed's World, a show that's actually great and good, has absolutely no quality control whatsoever, and yet even that is better than this. And I'm not insulting Ed's World. The design is actually great. The design is outstanding, and yet guess what? That design is not profitable. Ed's World himself was the one that created the design, and that's really it. He just created the design off the top of his head. But yet these guys are the corporate people, yet they make this crappy design. It's just look at Breadwinners on Google and look at the pictures, and you'll see what I mean by crappy design. That's unoriginal and just genuinely bad. Okay, another thing I like to talk about Breadwinners, and that is the characters. Wait, I think I already talked about that. And it's just that another thing about Breadwinners is that I can't really give too much judgment on Breadwinners, despite the fact that I've only seen a few episodes of it, and I don't want to see any more. And the thing about Breadwinners is that the episodes normally follow the string of butt jokes and pop cultural references and catchphrases. That's all the humor is. And that's the thing with toilet humor. It's stupid. I honest to God, hate toilet humor. And I'm not saying that all toilet humor is bad. I mean, Panty and Stocking and regular show has tons of toilet humor, but yet it does it in a way that's actually funny, and I myself actually laughed and took it seriously. This show is just butts. It's funny because it's butt. It's like their humor is this. Yeah. Yeah, that's their humor right there. I mean, that's really all it really is. Now, another thing. Wait, crap. And another thing I would like to know about Breadwinners is that despite the fact that I find it bad, I find it beyond mediocre. I actually think that this is better than Sanjay and Craig, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and especially from the people that like Sanjay and Craig. But I find this bad as I find this better than Sanjay and Craig. But then again, it would be like saying a piece of crap with salt, a piece of crap with salt or some ranch dressing on it is better than a piece of crap itself. Get the angry video game nerd reference. Anyways, as I was saying, that's really the main problem with what the heck? Okay, that's my dad. So, go back to my train of thought. Okay, Dad. I'll be there in a second. That's my dad. So, yeah. Anyways, as I was saying about the whole, Sanjay and Craig thing. The reason why I find it better in a way than Sanjay and Craig, because sure, the humor is bad. It's terrible. But I'd rather have three bland, generic humor that I couldn't care less for, rather than Sanjay and Craig, and where the humor is just so mind-numbingly childish that it makes me want to hit my head against a wall. I'd rather have a show that makes me cringe than a show that makes me want to freaking put my head in a wall and makes me want to murder a kitten. Yeah, I hate Sanjay and Craig that much. Okay. Anyways, going back to Breadwinners. Another thing about Breadwinners is that the art style. Like I said before, the art style is terrible. And the ducks. besides, Sway Sway, and I think it's the obvious issue that Pie Guy Rules pointed out. How come Sway Sway and Badooz are the only are the only cartoon ducks that are in this crappy cartoon style? Well, all the other ducks are in a surreal duck, are surreal ducks. I mean, it just doesn't blend in well. With the Amazing World of Gumball, everything is able to blend in perfectly despite being out of place. It looks nice, it looks unique, and that's the thing with the Amazing World of Gumball. Here, it just looks weird and just out of place. And to make things even worse, the ducks themselves are just incredibly lazy. Now, I myself don't mind surreal images. I mean, I find the surreal images in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, there's a few of them in Pinkie Pride, freaking hilarious. But it does it in a way that's funny, and they do it in a style that's funny. Especially with shows like SpongeBob and Chowder. They take surreal images, and they make it funny and hilarious, and put style and effort and humor to them. The surreal style in Breadwinners is just a realistic duck with a cartoony eye. Not only is it stupid and flat out lazy, kind of creepy by the way, but it has no effort. I mean, if I copy and pasted a duck from Google, cut out its eyes, and then put a little circle, and then put a dot on it, and did it in like 54 seconds, and then posted it on DeviantArt, that is like the equivalent of the style of these ducks right here. It's seriously that bad. Although, as bad as the show is, I do have to compliment it in one thing, and that is the overall premise of, the ducks delivering bread is actually very unique. Although, here's the thing. Despite the fact that, the premise of these two ducks, Badooz and Sway Sway, going around in a little truck delivering bread to other ducks is very unique, extremely unique, and unheard of animation, does not make it good. Because people need to realize, just because an idea is good or hasn't been done before in media doesn't make it necessarily good. And that's really the problem with Breadwinners. It's unique, it's new, I'll give it that, but it just isn't good. I mean, it would be like saying, there's this chair and it's a superhero and it teams up with a bunny rabbit, and then that bunny rabbit is a transgender, and then they both fight Barack Obama as a llama. Now, here's the thing. Is that idea extremely unique and new? Yes, it is. Is it good? Heck no. Because that's the thing people are going to realize. Just because it's unique and good doesn't make it, what would I say? Just because it's unique and new does not make it good. And that's the main thing I'm trying to do. Because with my cartoon show, Toxic Grass, I've been trying to make it unique, but I've also been trying to make it good. That's like my main goal of making the show. And that should be everyone's main goal. Because like the Nostalgia Critic said, don't try to be popular. Don't try to go to a mainstream. Because that shouldn't be your main focus. If that's your main focus, then screw you. Like, your main focus should be if it's good. If you can be both good and popular, then good. Good for you. You have a real gift. But if you could only choose between the two, the best decision would be good. And that's the main problem with this show. It's like the Lorax, but a bajillion times worse. Like, it panders to the mainstream, it panders to the little kiddies and all this stuff. And the funny thing is that I actually saw a comment of someone that liked Breadwinners, and he was saying the only reason why people hate this show is because it's new. And then I'm like, okay, I don't think people hate the show because it's new. Not only is that reason very invalid and extremely irrelevant in whether a show is good or bad, but there have been tons, and I've been tons of shows that are new but are critically loved and have tons of new fan bases. For example, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Gravity Falls, Wander Over Wander, Rick and Morty, and so on. I mean, those shows were fairly new. Oh, and Transformers and The Littlest Pet Shop. Those shows are fairly new, yet they have tons of fan bases and are critically acclaimed as good, so it's not a reason as it to be bad. And he also said that cartoons shouldn't be taken seriously. Okay, I can kind of understand because cartoons shouldn't be taken too seriously in some aspects, like aspects, but saying cartoons shouldn't be taken too seriously is the same problem as the oh, a movie shouldn't be criticized because it's for kids argument. For like, just because for kids doesn't mean that it has an automatic free pass from criticism. By that logic, does that mean that a food fight cannot have any criticism whatsoever, despite its obvious faults, just because for kids? No, I'm not going to let that happen. And sure, and here's the thing. A cartoon doesn't have to be too serious. But even shows that aren't really that serious, Adventure Time and Gumball, for example, it does more than simply be random and cater for the kiddies. It has more stuff in there. And the thing is that when you try to take your show seriously and do it seriously rather than simply, I'm going to do it for money and the kiddies, then guess what you get? You get Spectacular Spider-Man. You get My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. You get Rick and Morty. You get Pansy and Stocking. You get Sailor Moon. Okay, the Japanese version, not the dub. You get Attack on Titan. That isn't technically a cartoon, but whatever. You get all these great shows, but yet when you don't take something seriously, then you get crappy shows like Sanjay and Craig, Breadwinners, Terry the Tomboy, Fanboy and Chum Chum, and so on. Because that's a thing. Like, when it comes to when you're making something, whether it be a cartoon or not, when it comes to work, it'll only be good if you take it seriously, if you really put heart and effort into it, and you truly believe that this can be a good executed idea. If that's not the reason in why you want to make something, then I don't know what to say. It's probably not going to end up good. And when you try to do something, make sure to try your best to make it good. Like, that's your main problems, and try your best to not have it pander to the mainstream. That's really the main thing with it. And to be perfectly honest, that's the main problems with Breadwinners. It's not bad because it doesn't take itself seriously. It's bad because it just puts a bunch of random stupid stuff in it for the sake of being random and stupid with really. And that's all it is. It's random and stupid. There's really nothing there. And the kids who grow up with this garbage have nothing meaningful in it. Like, meaningful in it. And it's really like, in Breadwinners it has really absolutely nothing to look at it. It's just a cartoon about ducks. That's about it. And the thing is that when all it is a cartoon about ducks, then people will have nothing to look back to. Now, if it's a cartoon like My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, where it's more than just simply a cartoon about ponies, it's about friendship, it's about love, it's about kindness, it's about going through the hardest, trials, it's about betrayal, like, stuff like that, then there is a gold mine of things to go back to, even when it will be canceled in the future. Because My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic is meaningful, Breadwinners is not. And to be perfectly honest, I think that this is how Nick gets their shows. I think what happens is that probably the Nick executor is like randomly going to a bathroom. He goes to the bathroom a lot to get his ideas. He sees some random person like taking a dump while saying stupid crap at the same time, and then the Nick producer is like, okay, that's your new best idea. I'm gonna go bring it to Nick's studios. Heck, they should have a Nickelodeon show, and where the show is called Mr. Poop, and it's about a teacher that's actually crap, like, or Mr. Crap, a crapper, and that'll be tie in with all the crappy Nickelodeon shows. And it's really sad to see Nickelodeon go like this, because there are only there are only three good Nickelodeon shows. That is sad. That is really sad. I used to look up at you, Nick. I used to watch shows from the 90s that you had, and from the 2000s. You know what? You cancel Invader Zim. You do cancel Invader Zim, and then you get you cancel Invader Zim. You reject Adventure Time. You reject Bravest Warriors. And you bring up Breadwinners and Sanjay and Craig. This is truly a sad day from one of the happiest Nickelodeon shows.